So, my name's Ed Long. I'm the CSeries liaison pilot on the CSeries. I've been on this airplane since it was a white piece of paper. Part of the design is been my input. So, if you look, we have 5 large displays. The displays are sized for synthetic vision. We have cursors to have access to the displays. We have a new FMS, flight management system, which is based on phase of flight. Our cursor, our fly-by-wire, is controlled through the side stick, and it's speed stable versus attitude stable. We have moving thrust levers, and we also have a table, and with an interface keypad to the electronic flight bag.
And that's the EFB to your right. Yeah,
you're right. Our flight control laws are we have only 2. We have normal and direct. That's all we have. We have no alternate laws, so it's very much more robust for the pilot. System-wise, we've automated many systems, so the pilot would understand the airplane much easier.
You're based in Dublin? This is the Bombardier CSeries, and if you just follow me, I'll point out some of the key features of this aircraft. That from this control center, which is totally digital, the cabin staff can actually control all the seat calls. She can actually send messages back into the cockpit because the door is locked, or directly down to base, down to the maintenance team. She can control all the equipment in the galleys. She can turn them off and on as required. She can control the lighting in the aircraft. She can control all the messaging that needs to be put out in the aircraft. She can control the temperature of the aircraft. And last but by no means least, she can control the amount of water that's taken on board. And if there's any additional water, clean water, that's left after the last flight, she can actually purge that water, and that water goes into the atmosphere. We have a typical galley in the front with all the equipment, coffee makers. These coffee makers are special in that there's no storage tank. The water comes through directly and the coffee is made instantaneously. The front lav on this aircraft is special. It's special because of the height. And our chief designer was 6'2", and he challenged his team to make a lav in the front of the aircraft that he could use without being embarrassed. And I'll just step in and I'll show you the height. I'm around about 5'11", and you can see there's still some height. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is special in a small aircraft. As we enter the aircraft, we will first look at the business class section. Now, not all airlines have this, but on our aircraft we go from 5 abreast to 4 abreast, and because of that we only lose 1 seat, which is very important to the airlines because that's loss of revenue. We have a very spacious aircraft, and the business class seats are 20 inches between the armrests. These seats are fully reclinable by 8 inches. So very comfortable. And if the airline chooses, he can put an entertainment system, a seatback entertainment system, which we are actually showing on this aircraft. On our left we have the Thales system with a 12-inch screen. And on the right hand side we have a Panasonic system, which is an 11-inch screen. Now our aircraft, although it's single aisle and more narrow than the aircraft today, we've opened up the living space so that it feels as if you're in a 777 or a wider body aircraft. How did we do that? Well, first of all, we have bigger seats. These seats are 18.5 inches between armrests. That's a full 1.5 inch bigger than a 737. It's half an inch bigger than a A320. So 18.5. Again, this is 18.5. In at the window, it's 18.5, but this middle seat, which is normally not the desired seat, is 19 inches. So we've given the person an extra half inch.
And the windows like the 787 give a spacious feel.
Absolutely. We have bigger windows, the same size as a 777, and they are at the right height. So no matter where you are in the cabin of this aircraft, you can look out and you can see without straining. Those big windows let a lot of natural light flow into the cabin, and that light opens up the cabin, makes it feel more spacious. So you have a very spacious and comfortable cabin. One other thing would be the side walls. We designed them to open up the space, particularly at the shoulder and at the head height. Today the aircraft people fly in are two circles. Because they've been designed so many years ago, that's the only way to make a pressurized tube. We don't have a circle. We have two radii at the top, two radii at the bottom, and we've furred it in between. And that means we can make the side walls straighter, and we can make the space a lot more bigger. So we have about 30% more space at the shoulder and at the head. That gives a feeling as if you're flying in a bigger aircraft, a 777 or an A380. So one other key feature about today's travel is how we travel. And looking at trends, everyone today uses these roller bags. It's great and it's not great because the bin systems that have been designed for previous aircraft cannot accommodate these well. We have optimized our bins so that we can carry 3 of these standard roller bags. And through that optimization, 90% of our passengers can actually store one of these roller bags on this aircraft. On this side of our aircraft, the bin is a lot deeper because it's a 3-seat side. We can actually accommodate, wheels first, this oversized bin, this oversized bag. This is a 25-inch IATA roller bag. Today, you would not be allowed to bring these on the aircraft. Tomorrow, there's a possibility to bring these on. It means that the airline may give the option to the business class section to bring his big bag on, or if he doesn't have business class, he may actually offer passengers to pay a little bit more to bring their bigger bags on. Our aircraft is very flexible, and to date we have 12 orders, or 13 orders. We announced another one today. Within those 13 different airlines, there's 13 different configurations, so our aircraft is very flexible. We're now looking at our economy section, which is 5 abreast, and I just want to point out that we have 2 different types of seat. We would have a premium economy seat, which has a little bit more padding. It weighs a little bit more, and you can get an IFE system in the premium economy. We then have a lighter seat, which weighs about 20 pounds per passenger, about 5 pounds lighter than the premium. And this seat lets us actually have seat pitches right down to 28 inches, which is basically, let me sit in it. It's still very comfortable for flights up to a couple of hours, but it allows us to maximize the number of passengers in our aircraft. And this is very important for LCC customers, low-cost carriers. One last key feature of our aircraft would be our aft lav. Let me just fold it up. Today we live in a world where everyone needs to be treated as an equal, and that includes persons with reduced mobility. And to do that, to be able to do that on an aircraft was very difficult previously. But we have designed our lav that's very first of all, deep and big, and it also has this corner door which opens up and gives full access to a PRM with a wheelchair. If you can imagine, there's a small aircraft wheelchair, standard wheelchair. The PRM is positioned within the lab. The doors can be closed and the person can actually use the lab in privacy. Today that can't happen. Today there's all sorts of other solutions, such as a curtain that comes around the door, and a cabin attendant may have to stand whilst the person uses the lab. Not very private, not very dignified. We have thought of this and we have a solution. So I thank you for your attention, and I hope that one day you'll be flying on the 21st Century CSeries.